All right, so let's say you are a brand new pet influencer and you want to know right off the bat what you can do to be successful. Well, I'm gonna go over in this video 5 specific things that I learned during my first year of pet influencing that honestly could make a really big difference on your success in your first year as a pet influencer. But before we begin, go grab your ebook and your 2-day course down in the description below. It contains my 8 most important secrets for brand new pet influencers so that you know what you're getting into. So let's get started. The very first thing that you need to keep in mind when it comes to your first year of being a pet influencer is that you will never be ready to start. And this is not just being a pet influencer, right? This is being any sort of content creator. You're never going to be ready because you're never going to have enough experience because this is a journey. This is a marathon and you're actually never going to really be at the very, very end. And so you're going to always be learning and researching and trying new things and experimenting over and over and over, whether you're a year in or 5 years into this. I get too many clients who say, I'm not ready to start. I feel like I don't know enough. I haven't learned enough. And the thing is, you're not going to learn without trying. So that is one thing that I learned that was so important was there's no perfect time to start. And because the best time to start is not tomorrow, but today. Now, the second thing that I learned during my first year as a pet influencer is there's a lot of competition out there. I mean, we're talking, there are thousands and tens of thousands. I mean, so many pet influencer accounts. And so one of the biggest things people say is, well, isn't there just a ton of competition? Like, I don't want to get into a space that's totally saturated. But the thing to consider is there are a ton of accounts, but there are not a ton of good accounts. And so that makes all the difference. You can get overwhelmed by the fact that there's so much competition out there. And I don't want that to overwhelm anyone who is planning to get started as a pet influencer or even just a content creator again in general. Any business and like any niche out there. Yes, there's competition, but you can always find a way to be different and unique, which is taking us right into number 3, because the third thing that I realized during my first year of pet influencing is that the people who succeeded were different. The people who succeeded were unique. They were unique in their content creation style, in their video editing style. They were unique maybe in their storytelling or in this type of content, the type of video that they created. So, I mean, I've seen dozens and dozens of really large cat and dog accounts who are just different. They're just different. And you want to be different. As a new pet influencer, I was doing what everyone else was doing. I was just making the same video that was made 50, 100 other times by other pet influencers. But what you want to think about is how can you be different? How can you make your content slightly different than everyone else's content? That is what makes a successful pet influencer, is making sure you're unique, you're different, and that you're not just copying what everyone else is doing, because you're then going to get in that flood of all those other pet influencers who are just trying to do the same thing. The fourth thing that I really learned during my first few months as a pet influencer was that yes, all of these business and self-improvement books are all correct. Consistency really is key. Now, this mostly has to do with the algorithms, because when you start a new account, the big thing is that the algorithm doesn't know who you are. The algorithm doesn't know what type of content or what type of person that it needs to show your content to. And so if you're really inconsistent about your posting, like let's say you post 2 videos, 2 reels a day for like 2 weeks and then nothing for another week, and then maybe like 5 reels during a week and then nothing, and you're super inconsistent, that is actually not going to be helpful for you. So even if you don't have the time to make a super quality video, I would rather you post a photo than trying to spend the time to make a video. Consistency truly is key when it comes to this during your first year as a pet influencer. Then the 5th one is honestly my favorite because it's so true. And I know so many of you, this will be hard to hear, but when you're during your first few months as a pet influencer, you're going to suck. Like your videos might suck. Your content might be terrible, because just like tying into bullet point number 1 that we talked about not just ever feeling like you're ready to start. The thing is, your content's never going to be perfect at the beginning. The whole point of your first at least 3 months of a pet influencer, during those first 3 to 6 months, you're figuring your style out. You're experimenting. You're trying new things. And if you're just going to go and just try to be perfect all at once, you're not going to be perfect. That's not how it works. So hopefully this gives you just a few things to think about as a new petfluencer, or even just, again, a new influencer content creator. The first year isn't always easy, but it gets so fun after just a few months or even after a first year. If you have any other thoughts on this, comment them down below, and I'll see you in the next video.